Hello everyone. Today we talk about history. So I will now share the screen. So we will start our lesson very quickly. Here it is. And 1 minute only until I will put so I can present it only. So we have that. This about the modern world history. So it is the modern world history. Okay. It's about the modern world history. Modern world history. Mean in the 19th, 20s, these are called at the modern world history. But for now, let us repeat. Oh no. So now this is that was the cover of the book. And this now the second page of the book. Let us go. I will go down. The content, what we take in this book. But first, VI, what this book help us to know. Then VII, the text acknowledgement. So the core contents, opinion B, the 20th century, international relations since 1919. So part one, this part one will be internal war years from 1919 to 39. So it will be the war year. Also the Cold War and the Gulf, 1945 to 2000. So we also have the depth studies. We will talk about in the depth studies about Russia, Germany, the USA. But firstly, let us look about what this book help us to achieve. This book will help us to know what are this content that we read now, to know what it is about. The author text explain what. Also, it has full important sources. Also the fact files, key events, and the profiles. Also what we use, lot of diagrams and timeline that are used, so we can, they use the diagram and timeline. Why they use timelines and diagrams? To show us what happened, to show us, 1 minute, show us what was happened. 1 minute, I am sorry, but 1 minute. It will be here. Show us, 1 minute, copy. We will put it in a new page, only 1 minute. Okay, we will put it here. So what we will find also, to know what was happened in the past. 1 minute and you will see it all together. So why they put the diagrams and also So why they show us the diagrams and timelines? Why? So to show us what was happened in the past. So this is why they have, why we use a lot of diagrams and timelines in this book. For what? For what they use it? To show us what was happened in the past. We are now in 2021. This was happened in 1919. The book will start discussing to us what will happen. So from 1919 to 2021, there is many years. So this timeline show us what will happen, what was happening. So there is think they would talk about 1 minute. This would talk about what we will see there. Revision tips, there will be revision tips, keywords, some keywords, also chapter summary. There will be chapter summary. We will read everything, and some words we will make it for it is alone for 1 day, so we can discuss about it. For now, this also what it be will help you to apply what you learn. Also, it will help you to know how you apply it. Focus task. You see, and you have some questions. Revision tip also. See, it helps you to prepare for your examination. There will be an exam, but what this will help you to know, what help you to make to prepare for this exam. It has the exam focus, the exam practice, source analyze. So after each chapter, maybe we will we will take some of this question and try to answer it. So text acknowledgement, no need for that. Let us go out. Okay. 1 minute, I need to make this lower. This is 300 now, it will be good. 1 minute, I'll to hide this. Thank you. Now, the core content. The core content, it is the option B, the 12th century international relationship since 1919. So it is the first chapter we will have. Section 1. It is the section number 1. So internal war is 1939. So we use 200. Okay, so only to us to know 300%. So let us go back also. So we can repeat now. So 1918, the First World War. There was 2 world war. The first one was from 1918. Was 1918 the First World War. So what happened in 1919? June 1919, the Paris Peace Conference alleged leaders meet and draw up the Treaty of Versailles and other peace treaties. So in 1919, we will talk now about what happened in France or in Paris exactly. So conference leaders who are not with the government there in the 1919. They meet and draw up the treaty. So they remove the Versailles and other peace treaties. So they remove them. 1920 to 1923, there is nothing in 1921 and 1922. But firstly, what happened in 1920? The League of Nations starts war. The nation, mean in the World War I, there was some countries together, so they are called as nation. Start work together. This task is to sort out disputes between countries fairly. So what was its task? It's to sort out disputes for these countries exactly, without any excuses. Mean this country, say this country in the first war, Germany and England. So this nation, it will give exactly the fair dispute between these countries. So in 1923, Caesars in Germany as France invaded the Ruhr and inflation make money worthless. So there was a problem in Germany as in France. So they make the money worthless. So if you have money, it will not mean anything. Okay, I mean everyone, if mean you have money, it will not make anything. Only 1 minute. For money, there was no amount. I mean, it makes money worthless without amounts. Worthless mean without amount. What about 1925? Only. In 2519, the Locarno treats, what it treats with whom? With Germany. Appears to accept the Treaty of Versailles. So the Locarno treats. So what has it done? What does it? What was there in the Locarno treaty that Germany appears what to accept what the Versailles treaty. So they was under the Treaty of Versailles. Okay, in 1926, Germany joined the League of Nations. So what they joined Germany, the League of Nations in 1926. We say that after a year of the Locarno treaties, that Germany were appeared to accept each thing that was in the Treaty of Versailles. But in 1926, it joined the League of Nations. So it is important. So 1927 as 21 and 22, nothing there. So we will proceed to the 1 minute to the 1928, the Kilbrand Pact. What the Kilbrand Pact made, most nations agree not to go to war to settle their dispute. So the Kilbrand Pact makes some nations, some countries, they agree not to go to war and tell their dispute. Means they stay in their homes or in their country without sharing in this war, in the First World War. 1929, this was and from 1919 to 1923, post-war services. But from 1924 to 1929, improving international relations. So it was improving the international relationships between the countries. Let us see. In October 1929, the Wall Street crash led to a worldwide economic depression. So what the Wall of the Street crash lead to the worldwide economic desperation. I mean, it changed the economic over the world. I mean, it gives a big root for the economy over the world. What happened in the world of the street crash in 1929? So we should to focus in this chapter and very important thing that is important for us. Chapters 1 to 3 of this book cover a turbulent period of European history. After the trauma of the First World War, citizens of European countries I am sorry for the distribution. So for focus, we should to focus that in this 3 chapters from 1 to 3, they speak about what happened in the European history after the trauma of the First World War. Citizens of the European countries were hoping for what? They were hoping after the First World War for the peace, the peace between the country without no war. This was the first aim for them, prosperity and the clean, that they lived without any distribution. Instead, they got revolution, economic desperation, international dispute, dictatorships, and in the end, a second war. How did this happen? So after the First World War, by many years, there was a Second World War. How did this happen? What happened for this? So you will examine, oh no, I'm sorry. We then will discuss about that, but 1 minute. So, and now in part 1, you will examine in the peace treaties at the end of the First World War and consider whether they were fair. In chapter 1, some would mean we will see if that was fair or not fair. Some would say that the peace treaties created problems for what? For the future. Other that they were the fairest they could have been given the very difficult situation of the First World War. I mean, other the First World War, there was destroying in the homes, the people live their places, all I mean, everything was destroyed. And this has effect on the people. Then we go in chapter 2 to describe what the League of Nations set up in 1920 to what prevent war between countries. But in the end, there was failure in this league because there was a Second World War. To prevent war between countries. In chapter 2, you will evaluate it is a success. It had many and it is failures which tend to be remembered rather more than the success. I mean, it is fails is more than it is successes, and reach your own view on how we should remember the league. What we should remember, your own view, how this success of or the failure of or something between has made in the here. So finally, in chapter 3, what we will examine the event from 1930s, which finally tipped Europe back into the war, and it is coming to blame Hitler and his foreign policy for this lie. So what it will be coming to blame Hitler and the policy for the foreign policy for what fight war, but this chapter will help you what to reach a balanced views that see that what other factor played it a part. Now in the chapter 3 you see the common thing that they will blame Hitler and the foreign slide because they was the reason of the problem that was occurred. So now the events in this chapter overlap in time. So the timeline below gives you an overview of the main event. Also, what you will be studying it. It would be helpful if you made what your own copy and added your own notes to it as you study. Please. So I have one thing. When we are discussing, make your own notes. Make what? An own notes. So you can go to it after we finish discussing this huge lesson with notes, with many information. So let us start. Maybe it will be complicated, but we will try to make it simple. So from 1930 to 1933 was the worldwide economic liberation. From 1934 to 1939, deteriorating international relations. Together they relate together, so they can mean they relate together. Mean if there was war, that who will fight. Also 1940, the Second World War, talk about it. But now we will talk about now 1930 to 1931, nothing there. 1932, 1933, Japan and Germany leave the League of Nations. They leave it, finish. But the deteriorating international relations, 1330, oh, I forget, I'm sorry. Japan, 1331, from what? 1331 to what? 33, the Manchurian Caesars, Japan being building a Pacific empire. So what Japan being to build a Pacific empire? They start to build an empire for their own. What also in January 1933, what Hitler becomes leader of Germany and building the obligation of the Treaty of Versailles. So Hitler becomes the leader of Germany and push the Versailles out from Germany. So we read that. So 1933 and 1935, Germany rearms. I mean, they collect their arms again. They recall their arms again. So the Abbasian Circes, Italy invades Abyssinia. So the Italy also invade the Abyssinia. But in March 1936, what German troops enter the Rhineland? So, I think that it is timeline, but we try to discuss it in a very simple way. From 1931 to 33, Japan started to prepare to build an empire. But about 1933, Hitler became the leader of Germany and the Versailles were pushed out. No more Versailles in Germany. Japan and Germany leave the League of Nations. They leave, finish. No need. They said no need for the League of Nations. They leave. As some country, then they will hear about them how they leave. Then 1933 to 1935, Germany rearms its army. Also in the Italy invades Abyssinia, and the March 1936, German troops enter the Rhineland. So 1935 to 1936, Italy invades Abyssinia, while about Germany, the troops of the Germany enter the Rhineland. Also in 1937, what it had, that Italy leave the League of Nations. When we hear 1933, we say Japan and Germany leave the League of Nations. They say to you, a question mean, who leave the League of Nations in the year 1933 and 1937? Well, no. October 1938, the policy of abasement ended with the Minsk Agreement giving Czechoslovakia to Germany. Czechoslovakia to Germany. So this abasement policy ended with mention that they will give the Czechoslovakia to Germany. So they will give the Czechoslovakia to Germany. So it will be part of Germany. Also, in 1939, the August, we're talking now about August. Hitler and Stalin signed the Nazi-Soviet Pact. September, this, the wing, the flag for Hitler. Hitler and Stalin what signed the Nazi-Soviet Pact. So in September, what they both invented Poland Hitler and Stalin both sign the Nazi-Soviet Pact. They make this Nazi. It is called as Nazi-Soviet Pact. Also, but in September, this was in August. In September, they invaded Poland. So in 1940, finished. The Second World War begins. So let us, this man is walking the reckoning. Okay, I call it why it is fully a quarter of what we should have made them pay if we did one, like that. So we will start in it in our second session. I hope that in this session we talk about an important thing about the content. We know about the timeline, what happened from 1930 to 1940, and what also happened from 1918 to 1929. So for now, goodbye.